Hey everyone, it's Grandmaster Ben Finegold here with Kid Chess with another great video to show you. This one has to do with a tactic that happened in my games about 10 years apart where my opponents thought they were tricking me, but the trick didn't work. Okay, and we've seen this trick before. It's where you check with a queen, the opponent gets out of check, and then the queen takes something. Now, before I show you the times it didn't work, I want to tell you a funny story. I was playing in a Masters tournament in Chicago. I think I was 14 or 15 years old. So everybody in the tournament was a master. And my game just started. Maybe we were on move 2. And the game next to me, their game ended. And I was like, what's happening? Why is that game over? It turned out there was a terrible blunder. Black lost a piece almost immediately and gave up. Okay, let's have a look. I wasn't involved in this game. I'm innocent. And black played bishop g4. That bishop's not protected. And in this position, black has several captures, and almost all of them are good, except the one black chose. Black could take the knight. Black could take the pawn 3 different ways. Okay, and one of those moves of the 4 captures I showed you actually loses a bishop. And I think what happens is people are relaxed when the game starts. It's move 2, it's move 3, it's move 4. You're not totally focused in on the game. It's the opening. Every move is okay. And even if you're a master, you could blunder if you're not totally focused. And black took with the pawn, this pawn. That turns out to lose the game. Do you see how white can win a free bishop now because of this blunder? Obviously, it's going to be this bishop. He played queen a4 check. That wasn't check last move, but it is this move because the black pawn was here and now it's here. And that attacks the king and that attacks the bishop. And so black lost a bishop immediately just as my game was starting. Okay, and I was shocked, but it's a good lesson. It's nice to learn a lesson either from your coach or from a game next to you instead of blundering the bishop yourself. You know what I mean? You don't want to lose pieces yourself. You'd like to learn the lessons from other people's blunders. Okay, now, I had a couple of games that were played about 10 years apart where my opponents thought they could play that trick against me, queen check and queen takes a piece. And in fact, they sacrificed a piece just to do that. They thought they'll give a piece away and they'll win their piece back and everybody's happy. Everybody wasn't happy because they didn't win their piece back. At least I was happy. Okay, this game was played a long time ago. My opponent played knight f3 and then c4. And I was feeling in a very aggressive mood today. I said, I'll take that pawn and you can't win it back. Okay, obviously he can win it back, but I figure I'll try to hold on to the pawn as long as I can. Now, lots of moves win the pawn back, including the move my opponent played, knight a3. He's going to take my pawn. And I was in an aggressive mood. I was, a younger player. And I played bishop to e6. I said, that's my pawn. Now, of course, white can attack the pawn again. He could play queen a4 check. He could play queen c2. He could play e3 or e4. Then his bishop would be attacking my pawn. But he played for a trick. But I was a kid and he was an adult. He didn't realize tricks are for kids. He played knight takes pawn right away. Shocking. And he knew I could take his knight. Okay, he knew it. And he was like, I'm not worried about that. I know lots of tricks. And he played queen a4 check, winning my bishop. Or so he thought. Okay, and queen a4 check, or if it's black, queen a5 check, sometimes wins a piece, and sometimes it doesn't. Now, in this instance, he already gave up his knight. So he has to win my bishop, otherwise he's down a knight for nothing. Now, most of my moves don't save my bishop. He just didn't see the move that saved my bishop. Do you see it? How can black get out of check and save his bishop? The answer is b5. He didn't see b5. He saw other moves that stop check, then he would take my bishop. Now my bishop's defended. So he lost the game because he lost a knight for nothing pretty early in the game. Now, I thought, wow, that'll never happen again. Somebody gives up a piece on purpose, thinks they're going to win it back, but they're wrong. But not only were they wrong, but I was wrong. About 10 years later, I had the white pieces against another player. And in this position, he played a very strange move, a6. And I was thinking, why did he play a6? So I took his pawn, and he played e6, trying to get his pawn back. And I said, no, that's my pawn. Bishop e3, defending my pawn. Now, once again, my opponent eventually could win his pawn back probably by playing queen c7 and queen a5 check, and he could just keep attacking my pawn. He could try to win it back that way. But my opponent thought he saw a trick just like my last opponent, and it worked out equally well for this guy. He just took my pawn, just like the last guy. And I'm like, well, there's a free bishop. What's he doing? Do you know why the guy gave away a free bishop? It was the same as the last game. Queen a5 check. He checked me and attacked my bishop, just like the last guy did. Now, in these instances, both players gave up a piece so they could get their piece back. Unfortunately for them, they didn't get their piece back. Now, if you saw the last example, you should be able to figure out this example. How did I save my bishop and get out of check at the same time? In check, attacking my bishop, I played b4. Oops, he didn't see b4, just like the last guy didn't see b5. And so in both instances, my opponents gave a piece away thinking they were getting it back, but it didn't work. They're tactical tricks that they knew, they didn't work in these positions. So it's good to know those tricks, but sometimes they don't work. Luckily for me, I was on the winning side in these instances. I hope you enjoyed those games. I know I did. This is Grandmaster Ben Finegold for Kid Chess. Until next time, bye kids.